So I had picked a review course where I worked during the day. I would leave work about 5 o'clock, and then I would go to hotel conference room, and I would sit there from 6 to 10 with 10 or 15 other CPA candidates, and we would do live review sessions. Now, what these sessions were, so I had course materials, I had the book, I had flashcards, I had videos, I had test banks, and the in-person was basically a live verbatim regurgitation of what was in the book. So if you just think about, I can go home, take my book, take my FAR book, for example, because I did FAR first, take my FAR book and I can read all 68 pages of this chapter, or I can go to this study group, which is essentially what it was, and we can read the pages out loud and we can talk through stuff and we can take breaks and say hi to each other and we can talk to the instructor for a few minutes after. So initially I felt like I need to be in class. I need to talk to people. I need to see it. I need to feel it, understand it. And I was like, I don't know what that did for me, because I thought I was going to get something different out of the live in person, but we just literally read the pages of the chapter. And I still had to go home and do the practice questions, figure out the concepts, and try to memorize the things that they were telling me to memorize. And I went through all of that. I took FAR first, passed it with no problem. The reason I passed it with no problem is because all of those years where I had sat and thought about it, contemplated, pontificated, analyzed, overanalyzed, made excuses, all of those years where I was doing that, I was working in corporate accounting. And so corporate accounting is a great foundation for understanding FAR. And a lot of the FAR blueprint was essentially my day job. So this was almost like a test of how good I was at my job. So FAR was nothing. Passed it with no issues. And then I felt like, well, if all the other exams are like this, shit, I can be done in 6 months. Like, this is nothing. I'll be done in 6 months. So I'm done with that. Flip over to audit. So same thing. I have my books. I have the videos. I have the test bank. I have, and I'm still going to the live sessions for audit. But at this point, second time around, I felt like I got this. And FAR was a whole lot of content, and audit is like half of the content. The audit book was like half the size of the FAR book. I was like, I got this. I might not even need to come to all these in-person sessions, and I could really just figure this out on my own. So at the time, I think audit went up to A5, maybe A6. And I probably studied up through A3, maybe A4. So there was at least one whole section of audit that I skipped because I felt like I got this and maybe it's not going to be as hard as I thought. I procrastinated for nothing. Let me just go on and skirt through, knock these out. And I did that and I got a 72. And a couple things were going on there as far as getting that fail, like being on such a high from passing FAR and feeling like I was nervous about something that I shouldn't have been nervous about. And if I can pass this section and this section is easy, all the other ones are going to be like that. So that 72 knocked me back a little bit and it humbled me real quick. And that is where shit started to get real. So I'm going to pause for now because I want y'all to take in this part. And in part 2, I'll talk about what happened when I opened my email that said score notification, and I saw that 72 for audit.